Alright, so in the hopes of now that I'm free of university for a bit, catching up on my Attack on Titan discussion videos, I figured why not knock two birds with one stone and discuss both episodes 14 and 15 in one video. So let's get going. So just like last episode, episode 14 covers two chapters, chapters 75 and 76. Chapter 75, titled War on Two Fronts, marking the beginning of this series' coverage of volume 19 of Hajime Isayama's popular series. And chapter 76, titled The Thunder Spears, continuing that coverage. Episode 15 also continues that coverage, with the episode going over the contents of chapter 77 and 78. Yet another two chapters, chapter 77 titled The World They Saw and chapter 78 titled Descent. And that, ladies and gentlemen, actually concludes the coverage of volume 19. Though I do think it's worth a mention that, especially with the last couple of minutes of episode 15, we actually get some material from chapter 79, which actually marks the beginning of this season's coverage of volume 20. Now, to make this as brief as possible, both episodes adapt each of their respective chapters pretty much to a T. The way some of these panels are adapted are just ridiculous, because these chapters come at a time where Isayama's art had been improving for a while now, and needless to say, he does flex his penmanship a bit in these chapters. Take for instance Bertolt's transformation. While yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the Colossal Titan being CG, I understand the reasoning behind it. Especially when people weren't really happy with how the Colossal Titan looked all the way back in season 1, I think, when it was really good CG. CG or not though, you cannot tell me that these panels by Isayama aren't absolutely gorgeous. These episodes essentially do what any good adaptation hopes to do. It gets the source material, which is great in its own right, and adds to it everything that makes anime, well, anime. Each episode, in my opinion, did their respective chapters justice, and it's all thanks to the combined efforts from the people behind the scenes that are working tirelessly to get this content out to us. Keeping things rolling though, if you couldn't tell by the title of the chapter or the title of the episode, episode 14 introduces the Thunder Spears. A ridiculously dangerous device that, if not used correctly or in the proper setting, can end up doing harm to its user. However, its existence is an extremely useful one, as it gives the Survey Corps a way to fight. Now, this idea of being able to fight is one I brought up in my discussion for last episode, episode 50. I mention it when detailing Armin, specifically the focus he got and why that focus was so important. I think it's fair to say that Eren, as this third season has progressed, has come to the realization of not only how strong he is, but also how that strength is useless if he is on his own. And that's where great minds like Erwin and Armin are able to shine and demonstrate how you don't necessarily have to be wielding a blade in order to fight for your freedom. But minds like Erwin's and Armin's are so few and far between that for some people, wielding a blade is the only way they can fight. And wielding a blade when it comes to the armored and colossal titans' defenses is more than just a waste of time, it's a death sentence. One of my favorite bits of episode 14, both in terms of overall message and how the anime adapted it, was Erwin's Mountain of Corpses speech. The speech reminds us of something that was made clear to us in the first half of this season, and that's that Erwin might be a great commander, but he's also prone to desire. He's also a selfish being. We come to realize the pressure he's placed on himself since he was very young, trying to prove the story his father told him about the past of this world. The speech itself sounds almost like an apology to all those that he's told to give their hearts to humanity, when in reality he was asking them to give their hearts for his dream. Even though, in essence, humanity did and has benefited greatly from Erwin's pursuit of truth, Erwin just can't stop thinking about the bodies he's up until now had to walk upon to get to where he has, without also thinking about how close he is to the truth. It's quite a difficult and complex dilemma Erwin finds himself having, and things don't ease up as we head into episode 15, which begins with the focus of how poor Marco met his end. But I do think the main focus here is supposed to be how Marco's death affected each one of these characters, which not only gives us some context on some of the things Annie has previously said, but it also gives us a starting point of Reiner's split personality. 1 second referring to Marco of being a part of this evil race and grieving over the loss of one of his comrades the next. Though of course people grieve and deal with situations differently, and because we were already somewhat familiar with the state of Reiner, I loved the focus on Bertolt this episode. I mean, it's really easy to forget, seeing as, especially in the beginning, it may have felt like Bertolt was portrayed as this unimportant character, but Bertolt is actually quite the capable fighter. The fact that Mikasa's sneak attack went quite differently the second time around being a testament to that. Bertolt's actions and confidence in himself this episode make him look like a completely different person, but in reality, he's the same guy. He just simply, like Reiner, finally snapped out of this illusion filled with camaraderie back to reality, where his only goal is to save the love of his life and capture the founding Titan. And I wonder if anyone from the Survey Corps that can fight has a big enough will to put an end to the real Bertolt. But hey, these are my thoughts and I'm curious to read yours. If you're an anime only, let me know how you felt about this episode and any predictions you may have. What was Reiner referring to when he was talking about an evil race? What do you think about Erwin and the dilemma he's currently in? And if you're a manga reader, let me know how you felt Studio Wit adapted this episode and what parts do you think they could have done a better job with, if any. Also, feel free to discuss anything I forgot to mention in the comments below. Please like the video if you enjoyed it helps the channel out a lot. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitter and to subscribe to my YouTube channel and to hit that bell. That way, you don't miss a video and can continue watching Attack on Titan and many other series with me. Apologies if you don't like this 2 episodes video format. Frankly, it was my first time doing this as well, so I hope I can build on this to get better at it as time goes. But don't get used to it, the weekly discussions as the episodes air are back in full throttle now that I'm caught up with all the videos I was behind with. And for the last time, I'd like to thank you all for your patience. And with that being said, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.